and you're inside the ride. I'm your host, Alphonse DELAMOTA, live and direct from Chicago City. I'm a tastemaker, DJ, promoter, who've been doing my thing since '98. And today's episode, I'm gonna go through some flyers here, and I'm gonna discuss some of the lineup and some of the behind the scenes shit that we went through to make these parties happen. And this first one, it's gonna be a Halloween party we threw called Into the Darkness, and I believe we threw this with a guy named Lewis from Vibonauts. On the bill, techno legends, Atomic Babies, Adam Bayer, Carrie LeCabouche. We had John Aquaviva, Farley, Jackmaster Funk, DJ Funk, Justin Long. On the jungle tip, we had Mental Power. We had DJ Precise come in doing a special turntable trick set. We had RP Smack on that. JJ Jelly being one of the originators. Rest in peace to Mr. MC Black Guy, who was also on there. We had the Minneapolis crew, Balance, Cypher, Brace, Stun, Bumpy Screw, Deep Star, Delicious. This party was crazy. I know on the night of the party, we had to take all the floors down with canvas and all kinds of other material that wouldn't rip. By the end of the night, the floor was destroyed, but we had insurance that would cover their floors if there was any damage. But they didn't want to hear it. They said, nah, your party will not go down if you guys don't protect the floor. So we had to go out and buy miles and miles and miles and miles of canvas and other materials to roll out and duct tape or gaff tape and under the stage, under the speakers, all the way to the back. So some people that remember the floor was real weird. There was a couple thousand people there. So just think of the floor. When you walked in, the floor was all kind of weird. So some people fell, some people hurt themselves, I'm sure. But yeah, that was Into the Darkness here in Chicago. That party happened in a huge gymnasium on Western Avenue, just near in Logan Square in Chicago. And let's see, I'm gonna go through some other flyers here. This is pretty cool. I like looking at these old flyers and trying to see if they find any of ours. Or this one right here, Roots. This one was crazy. This wasn't my party, but this party. I mean, if you want to talk about house music, this party was ridiculous. They had Rome Anthony and the Trojan Horse live. All right, Harrison Crump, Larry Heard, and AKA Mr. Fingers, Ron Trent, Roy Davis Jr., Steve Poindexter, Mystic Bill and Tracks. They did a 4 turntable set, and then Justin Long and BPM. They also had Halo, Freak, and Bernard Beatty. But this party, I remember, it was insane. I'm a huge house music fanatic, and this party, Roots by Vibe Alive, was probably one of the most memorable house music parties I can remember. I remember just pretty much dancing hard all night and just having that face every time they drop something, because the thing that people don't understand about parties like this, when they get a whole bunch of people, DJs especially, together that play the same style of music, it becomes a competition backstage. And the people in front of the stage and the speakers, the people that pay the money to get in, we get a huge benefit of that, because these dudes are trying their hardest to make people dance, move, and be shocked. They're trying to impress the DJs behind them with the music they got that you don't got. I got it, you don't got it. Boom, I'm gonna drop it on you. And then what happens is explosion. Then the next DJ's like, all right, man, this dude threw down. Check this out. And then us as the spectators of the whole thing, it's just awesome. So I'm gonna look through some more flyers here. Let's see here, Ravenman Bailey. That was a good one. Trying to find one that I find memorable, because a lot of these parties, as many ravers will attest to, like, a lot of these parties kind of blend together. And I've been to so many Route 66 parties. I've been to so many parties at a space called the Dalton. These are places that that rave promoters would frequent because it was a for sure thing. The space was pretty dope, and we could use the concert sound, and we could go all night, stuff like that. So here's one. Let's see, Planet Jungle 2 with Marvelous Kane. That was a Sub-Zero party, and I believe this party, I don't know where this party happened at. I believe this is a Lake Street party, because it was really hood. This Sub-Zero always threw parties in like the craziest places. He was like the first person that took me to do a break-in party. We just cruised around with a generator through alleys and shit, looking for a space that had any kind of an abandoned spot that had the door just kind of loose, or just boarded up. And what we did was we just went, crowbarred it, and jumped on the fucking voicemail and told people the address. And we had a party going on. We had the generator upstairs and the sound downstairs, and that was a crazy experience. And I was glad. I've never done one like that after that, and I don't think he has either, because the cops came and they pretty much seized everything. They seized everything. So it was an expensive lesson for those involved that people decided to bring stuff. I'm not sure where he got the generator from. I know the sound guys definitely were trying to wheel their stuff out as soon as possible. So, but here's one in '98 called Land of the Lost that we threw. This party was huge. There was a lot of huge DJs there. It was let's see, I can't find the main one, but we had Roy Davis Jr., Felix the House Cat, Juan Atkins. It was a crazy party, man. It was fun. It was in a brand new space that was only used once, and we stopped using it. We used it once, and nobody ever used it at that. The reason was the police from the area came and they wanted to investigate. There was an area that went around the top part of the venue, and what they did was they had undercover officers walking all around the top with all kinds of crazy equipment, recording stuff, and it was crazy. And they arrested some people, and they took some people to jail, and it was crazy. And it was the first and last time we ever did a party there. And we told every promoter we know, do not use that space. Who knows what the hell they did with that video and all that stuff. And I know they took people, they were harassing people, they had undercover cops walking around, just like grown men asking for, like me, walking around, hey, do you have acid? Anybody have cocaine? And it was just like ridiculous, And so, yeah, we definitely told people to stay home. If you're gonna throw a party there, don't even bother. Let's see, going through some of these parties. There's so many parties here, just like, they all blend together, man. All them hits of acid. I was more of an acid person than ecstasy, and that was my thing. Here's a further party. Which one was this? This is from 2000. Yeah, that was a good party. All the even further are pretty good. I can't say much for the political ideas of the promoters, but their parties are pretty good. Let's see here, what else they got? Electric Kool-Aid. Yeah, like these were like, a lot of these parties were like Friday parties and old, like early 90s Saturday parties. Life ravers, like who, that was in Indiana, May 13th, 2000. Robert Armani, Chocolate, 7, yeah, all kinds of cool old school names. What else we got here? Let's see here. See how much the memory serves me. I mean, it's not been doing good. Pretty I don't know. A lot of these flyers, like I said, they blend together. Let's see here. This one, Universal Vibe. That was one of our parties that we threw at Dalton. Let's see here if I can find. Is this it? Yeah, Universal Vibe. This one was at Dalton, and this one was pretty fun, man. 2,000 people, nothing special. We didn't, we just brought in big sound, the dope lights. As far as acts, we got Rob Hood from Detroit, which we hired him quite a bit. The Subheads from London, which were some pretty crazy dudes, man. They were the first time that I was with guys from England that put tobacco in their weed. And we would just look at them like, what are you doing? Why are you ruining the weed? And they're like, that's how we do it in England. And I guess they do it for flavor, and to make their weed last longer, even though we had a whole bunch. They came to Chicago, they had me, the guys had me take care of them because they like to smoke. I was hanging with them, and I was hanging with the Death Star crew from Toronto, which is DJ Dallas and MC Trigger, which are two pretty cool dudes. I took them in my Lincoln, puffed a little B, hung off for a little bit, but as far as the lineup goes, we had Rob Hood, the Subheads, James Christian, Mark Grant, DJ Huggy from LA, which is another guy we hired quite a bit. He's a nice dude. Like I said, Death Star crew from Toronto, and Todd Signs. That was an all headliner event. That's how we used to like throwing our parties. We used to like throwing mostly headliners and then a few other openers and stuff like that. But even their openers in Chicago were just headliners in other places. We had in Chicago. There's so many great DJs. It's just easy to pick someone good, and everyone that started here, went on to be big DJs. Like you got that guy Paul Anthony. He's not even from Chicago, but he claims Chicago. He's from Indiana, and he moved here. I'm not even sure if he even moved here. I just know we started booking him a lot, and that's it. From there on, he just took it from there and blew up a little bit and stuff like that. I'm not sure what he's doing now, but a lot of the DJs that we worked with, a lot of them went on to be really big, successful DJs, and I give them a lot of props. It's hard work, man. It's hard work to be a big DJ. You have to be away from your family, away from your house. You have to constantly be producing, and especially now in this day and age, you have to constantly be the guy that wears a whole bunch of different hats. You got to be a producer, promoter, graphic designer. You got to know how to do your promotional packets. You got to watch your metrics on SoundCloud. You got to tweet. You got to put dope pictures on Instagram. You got to be catchy with the music. You got to remix. You got to do all kinds of stuff to be a successful DJ nowadays, to be a mainstream successful DJ. Now, what I've noticed is a lot of the DJs that been holding it down, your OGs, as they say, these guys never stop traveling. They play France, they play London, they play Germany. Just because they don't play here in the States much doesn't mean that they're not doing anything. They're globe travelers. Guys like Paul Johnson, guys like Farley, Jackmaster Funk, Derek Carter. There's all these guys that are just that went on to be legends, and they're still doing it. And what I'm seeing is a lot of these EDM people they burnt the candle at both ends. They're doing everything at once. Like I said, you got to be all these things, and they're doing it. But they hired people to do most of it. So when you lose your steam, you lose your money, you lose your staff. You got to do a lot of stuff yourself. So what's happening is these guys are trying to get close to like the OGs. They're trying to bring out the OGs and be like, hey, we're DJs too, just like you, but in reality, it's not the truth. The original DJs, like they didn't start to be famous. They started DJing like I started DJing. They just wanted to be DJs, to DJ for their friends and have a good time, get into the party free and get some free drinks, hopefully make $100-something and, go home after a good night of raving and have fun. But a lot of the DJs that have come out since the rave scene blew up to what it is in since it's become EDM. These guys and girls, when they see DJing, what they want to be is like Dead Mouse and Calvin Harris and whoever else is out there that's a big massive name. They want to be that. But for me, when I started DJing, I really didn't have a name or anything in mind. I just knew that I wanted to DJ, and it looked fun. My friends would be there, and I met a lot of new people at the rave scene through being a DJ, a lot of promoters and stuff like that. So it looked fun to me. So it was a total different approach. If I was a raver today, I'm not sure if I'd be a DJ. I'd probably be a promoter first because that's where the money's at. DJing is hard. To be a DJ now is hard. I DJ because I like to DJ. I do a lot of social media, but now it's just like it's second nature to me. I think it's all fun, but what I don't do is I don't play what other people want to hear. I play what I want you to hear. So when people book me, they don't tell me what to do, what to play, who's going to be there. I figure that out. I get there, I see what's going on. To be honest, sometimes I played a few parties where I knew that the crowd would not like what I'm going to do to them and what I want to play. So, it was hard. I got through it. Sometimes you get pulled off early, being a drum and bass DJ, especially back in the day. I'm sure a lot of us, that happened to a few of us. But it's part of the game. And, that's stuff that you learn with experience, but that's when you're playing drum and bass, hardcore and things like that are not typical to what people hear on the radio. Like everyone's accustomed to hear. It's easy to play house music. Everyone else likes house music. You can play house music. Your grandmother might like what you're playing. Players from drum and bass, she might send you to church. So that's where I'm coming from when I speak about the music that getting rejected, and drum and bass was always in a small room back in the days. But me personally, as a promoter, I changed that. When I started M.I.A crew, we started throwing parties that were all drum and bass. And when we did have other types of music, be it house or dubstep, we would put that in the second room for the simple fact that we support other styles of music, but we're first and foremost a drum and bass group, and other groups had no problem claiming they are a house music group. We are a techno group. But it's only when drum and bass heads say we are a drum and bass group, people will question, but what about the other styles? Well, nobody's questioning anyone else, so it's just music. We're specializing in a sound. It's art. That's how I see it. I never booked DJs that were fly-by-night drum and bass guys. So if you were a techno trance DJ every other day of the week, but this one time that you want to come play for me, you're going to play drum and bass, I don't necessarily need that. I support people who specialize, and I know for a fact that throughout the years, that's all I booked. I booked a few DJs that were close personal friends that are big DJs, like Jesse De La Pena, who's normally not a drum and bass DJ, but I've seen him play drum and bass on his own. Mike Dearborn, same case. Mike's a killer DJ. He's a globe-traveling, world-famous techno DJ, and he's a good buddy. So, I've had him play for me before. But outside of that, I book specialists, man. People who specialize in drum and bass, because I know for a fact that when I book one of those DJs, they're gonna prepare a set for my party. And who benefits from that? The people on the dance floor. That's why one of our main sayings was, we bring the bass, you bring the vibe. And I know for a fact that every M.I.A party, each M.I.A DJ is there to outdo the next M.I.A DJ. We go back to back, man, check this out, boom, check this out, boom, check this out, boom, hitting you with all the tunes. And who benefits from that? The crowd. So me as a promoter, I'm aware of that. So I would always book artists who travel in the same vein, and when they're backstage together, they see this kind of competition, and the people that benefit are the ravers, are the clubbers, people who are at the party having fun. Those are the people that benefit, and it's science, man. It's really science. Just like let's see here. This is a pretty cool party, so I want to go through some of the live on the decks parties. This was live on the decks 2, and that was, is that the one? I think that was at the Expo Center, at the Chicago Expo Center. Yeah, we had, no, this was, where was this? But we had Hard Floor, Mike Dearborn, Frankie Bones, DJ Dimitri from Paris, Diesel Boy on there, Nigel Richards. I was on there, Fonz DELAMOTA with an E on it. Danny the Wild Child's on that thing. That party was pretty crazy. All the live on decks parties were crazy. That was 1999? Yeah, live on the decks 2. Oh, I know where that was, on Grand Avenue. That's where that was. They had a line around the corner down the block. Which one was this? This is live on the decks 3. This is the one that was at the Chicago Expo Center that we hung speakers from the ceiling, facing down into the crowd. So the Chicago Expo Center was the main room. The middle area was my area, which is a drum and bass room, where I just replayed The Matrix over and over and over, and just had a minimal lighting. Reason for that was all my parties are minimal. I don't like a lot of lights. I don't like big, bright things going on. I'm a dark person. I like darkness. And plus, in the darkness, people are able to be themselves. You smoke a little weed, do your other things that you do, and you have fun, and you kind of feel alone. You get in your own little world. You open up, and then you look around, and there's people around you, and you get to join in that happiness. So that's why I have my room. My events are usually dark with red lighting, because that kind of lighting is, to me, it's an emotional lighting, and it helps people connect. So on this one, like I said, it was the main room, Chicago Expo Center, which held, 5,000, 6,000 people. In that room, which was Hard Floor, Farley Jackmaster Funk, Nigel Richards, Paul Johnson, Christopher Lawrence, Mike Myers. In the Jungle Room, my room, I had Diesel Boy and MC Dub Squared, RP Smack, and Phantom 45, Danny the Wild Child, 3D. And in the Photon, all night was, for the first half of the night was John Aquaviva, and the second half of the night was Richie Hawtin. That event probably had 8,500 people go to it. And it was just it was absolute mayhem in the front. I know we got a lot of slack for that when that party happened, saying that we didn't handle things right. But I mean, how do you handle people being assholes and trying to jump the line? We did all we could to get that line moving, but the police that night were very adamant on frisking everyone very thoroughly. So there's not much we could do as far as that goes. But at the end of the night, it was pretty nuts. Everybody had fun. All the DJs killed it. Richie Houghton fucking killed it. That's when he was in my opinion, that's when he was really DJing like dope. All these other things I've seen him do, I've seen him DJing while he's swimming in a lake. I've seen him DJing in the daylight for people. I don't know. The Richie Houghton I know is the one that I saw a little further in Wisconsin. It's the Richie Houghton that I saw at Live on the Dex 3 in the Photon in Chicago. So that's the guy I knew. He was, back then, he had 3 decks and a 909. It was insane. So that's just some of the stories I got. I got a lot more coming. I got Rifleman coming in another time. We're going to be reviewing some good ganja. Right now, I'm smoking on G6 from Verano. Big up to Verano for constantly putting out a good product. They probably don't give a shit because they probably hear it all the time. But, yo, respect to you. Big up to all the ravers out there, all the junglists, all the old school heads that supported me and supported the crew. Thanks for watching the podcast. And, yeah, respect. Take it easy. Peace.